I'm Titus, and this is my home. As you guys can already kind of tell, I've started to rip the place apart a bit. I've gotten a lot of the flooring up. I still need to get that, plywood off the ground and everything. But yeah, I'm just going to continue with the demolition process and see where that gets us. So there's probably a much better way to do this, but my solution to taking these last couple chairs out without another person here is to clamp, you can kind of see I've clamped this down here, so like a vice grip to one of those bolts, and then I'll go underneath the bus, and I've been loosening it from underneath, so this thing will catch on like the post there, and then let me just spin the nut that's on the other side of the bus. So underneath the bus here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So these are going to be the bolts under here. And so with the vice grip up top, I'm just taking a ratchet here and loosening that bolt. So I just got the final seats out, and it really opened up the entire space so much more.
Yeah.
So it's the next day, and the weather's looking a little bit different than yesterday. So it looks like we got a lot of snow, as you can see. It's gonna be a little bit colder today working with all this metal, but this is all that I got done yesterday. So I was able to start ripping apart these side panels up here. All along here, there were speakers and lights along there, and then I got the rest of all this stuff out as well. My main project that I needed to get done today is removing that rear heater. It's actually connected to under the bus with coolant tubes coming from the radiator, so it's a little bit more of a process than I first thought. So I have to go up into the engine and turn off a couple of those radiator hoses. And then I think I'm going to loop them together so that I don't have to remove that whole hose, and they'll just kind of run through and back instead of going all the way through the heater. So these are the pipes running underneath the heater that are going to need to get cut or removed, and then I'll have to rejoin them together so that the coolant still can run there and back, all the way back to the radiator, which is over there.
I stopped caring about a month ago. Since then it's been smooth sailing.
So after like 15 minutes of crawling around in the snow and the mud and getting myself very dirty and wrestling, this thing is finally out of the ground. These tubes that poke through to the bottom just were not wanting to come through, but she's done. I don't know if you guys can tell how wet I am from crawling under there in the snow, but I'm just glad this thing is out of here. So now that I have this corner all cleared out, I can finally start to take apart this whole plywood area, hopefully get all of this up, and I'm hoping that there's not going to be too much rust to patch up. I'm planning on doing like a whole finish with like Rust-Oleum and everything, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but never know until this stuff comes up. So I got the first piece of plywood up and I discovered something that I've never seen in a school bus like this before. First of all, the floor is ribbed and they screwed in the plywood from underneath. So it was very difficult to get up, and all these holes are going to be a pain to fill in for sure. Alright, so now that I finally have all of the plywood off the ground, it's start to figure out what I'm going to do with the rust in the floor. Now it's not too bad, not as bad as I've seen in other buses, but there's a couple holes all the way through, especially by that back door. So I'm just going to try to repurpose some of the sheet metal that I pulled off the walls, cut it up with some shears and use a rivet gun around it, and then later when I'm sealing all the holes, I'll just caulk it all around it. Alright, so last night I actually came through with a rust reformer and I spray painted all of the bad rust inside the bus. Got all that done. And now the next step is to take the same paint I was using on those sheet metal pieces, and I'm going to just paint the entire floor. It's going to be a little bit difficult because I've seen in other buses it's flat on the bottom, and so they just take a paint roller and it's pretty easy. But I think I'm going to end up having to take a paintbrush and go in between each groove. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. Alright, so the next thing that I kind of have to do after painting the floor here is patch up some of these rust holes. I kind of cut out a cleaner spot for them because it was all, the metal just was not good. So I have my repurposed sheet metal that I took from the walls and I painted them in the Rust-Oleum protectant, and then I'm going to try riveting it into the floor there, and then I'll seal around it. Now, something to mention really quickly, I did find out that I actually fractured my fibula in Colorado when I was snowboarding. So if you see me moving around awkwardly, I have this weird clunky brace on, and so it's going to make the bus a little bit challenging, but I think it'll all be okay. Well, after a snowy, sludgy, gross morning, it is time to get back to work on the ceiling here. Last night, me and Jaren got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the panels knocked down. And there's 1, 2, 3 left. I think I might leave this one for now because I'm not sure what I'm doing with the front here. But yeah, I'm excited to get the ceiling down. I'll get all the insulation out of here and be one step closer to having this thing completely gutted. So now that I have all the ceiling down, I actually decided to leave this one for now because I haven't really planned out what I'm going to do in this area. But the next step is going to be to take that same air hammer and take off all the wall panels down here and over here and pull out all that insulation. Alright, and that wraps up the first episode of my Skoolie conversion. I want to thank you guys if you stuck through the video. I'm going to be coming out with more episodes as I work through every process of this bus. This first one was just kind of working through the gutting process. But yeah, if you want to stick around, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time.